Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, those of you that saw that prosciutto video may have asked the question, how do you slice it? Can you show us how you store it? Etc, etc. Well, I did put some on gold silver boards, but I've also shown how I slice it on my 12-inch slicer. I mentioned that in the video, but I didn't go into any details. So in this video, I'm just going to run through that very, very quickly so that anyone that saw that video, wants to have a go, does have a slicer, can attempt it and know that they're going to get some good results. Hi, my name's Taran and I run Coldsmoking Digital Cookery School, and if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. You're always welcome. It's nice to see new people here. I have got a whole host of videos that you may be interested in. Take a look at my back catalogue and enjoy. If you've got any comments, please do let me know. I'm always interested to hear what you've got to say, and I try and respond to most whenever I can. So storing prosciutto is something that perhaps you want to do from time to time. What I tend to do is hold the main body of the prosciutto on vacuum in the fridge so that when I want to take some cuts from it, I have it ready to hand. I don't take all the skin off. I think it's important to keep the skin on. It keeps the fat fresh, stops it from going rancid, and it's easy enough to take off a little sliver as and when you require it. So after trimming off some of that fat, I'm going to use my 12-inch slicer to run this through to give me some wafer thin slices. And I think that's really important. It adds to the texture. If you cut it too thick, which is inevitable if you're going to cut this by hand, but it's entirely possible to do that if you have a very sharp knife. But I think for consistency and to get really nice wafer thin slices so you can literally see through those slices of prosciutto, it's nice to have a reasonably good slicer. Slight interlude from the video. Now, just so that you're aware, I do have a Patreon channel, and on YouTube you can actually become a member. Now this will entitle you to some exclusive content and also interactions with myself. If that's something that you want to be part of and join the journey with me in this food smoking and curing adventure, then please join up. It'll be lovely to have you on board. Right, let's get back to the video. So the first thing I make sure that I do is ensure that that piece of meat is incredibly cold, and I pop it in the freezer for about half an hour just to really firm it up. The reason I do that is because one thing that I've noticed over the years with slicing meats really thinly on a mechanical meat slicer is that sometimes when the meat gets quite soft, you get something called fat drag. And that's where, as the knife runs past the meat, the blade is rotating, and where the meat is supported, you get this flap of fat or a flap of meat. But it's essentially, if it's not frozen on the outside, you won't get a crisp cut. And I think just to get a nice crisp cut, I make sure that it's really cold when I do it. It's not necessary, you don't always have to do it. But when I do slice prosciutto on a slicer, I make sure that the fat is at the top. So that's the bit that gets cut first. And as you cut through the meat, you get a nice, crisp, clean cut of meat. Now, in the example that I'm showing you here, I place the prosciutto nice and neatly on a plate as it comes straight off the slicer. Now I'm going to store it on paper, parchment paper, in packets of 8. And this is for me for the next 3 days. If you're going to store it for any longer, you really do need to keep it on vacuum, or at least in a sealed bag. Otherwise it will continue to dry out. Paper will allow moisture to pass through it. So it's not ideal for long-term storage. You need it on a vacuum. But if you're going to be slicing it for the next few days and you want to take about 20 or 30 slices, you can pack it down into a few packets, 3 or 4 packets, depending on how many you want to serve, how much per portion you're going to allocate, and store it on parchment paper. And I do this very neatly, so I'll make sure everything's nice and clean, hands nice and clean, work surface is nice and clean, get those slices out, and then arrange them onto the parchment paper nice and neatly. And then once you've got your portion, you can wrap that up, close it nice and firmly, fold it up like a little envelope, and then put those into the fridge and store them for when you need them. Like I say, if you're going to store it for any longer than about 2 to 3 days in the fridge, pop it into a sealed plastic bag, something like a Ziploc bag, so that they don't dry out. If you just leave them in the paper in the fridge, you'll end up with very thin sheets of pork jerky. Edible? Yes. Not really how you would want to eat prosciutto, if I'm absolutely honest. Anyway, hope you found that useful. If you do have any questions you want to ask me, please feel free to get in touch with me through the channel. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, folks, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheerio. Bye-bye.